is under construction, so use drive and pay attention to when the signs change. Because it's constant detours defining your lane. Your destination is your true intention. Oh yeah, it's true. Intentions are just thoughts. And thoughts may be unseen, but thoughts, when caught, become things. You think trouble and pain and chains appear along with fear like you're the only one here. You think success and greatness and access to the sacred matrix can come clear. Because whatever you look for, you will see. Whatever you search, you will find and locate. So realize the ball is in your court to face. The goal is yours to create. The top of the key is your destiny. Continue to rebound from faith. But understand that you miss every shot that you don't take. So why wait? It's time to decide what you're going to make. Look, don't let walls Jericho you. Don't let doubt Pharaoh you from your call. Don't let fear Goliath you. Look how all of them fail after standing tall and recognize everything between you and your purpose will fall, so brace yourself. Understand that you were built to amaze through this maze of stress. And when you amaze yourself, understand that's proof of God. From the core, you got great in store. But if you are ungrateful for what you got, why should God bless you with more to be ungrateful for? So break, cannot send the cans, make dreams into plans, and take failure as a lesson and learn well, because most of what you try will fail. But all of what will fail, stop to try. Consider what you would do if this is your last 24 hours to live, because where the power is knowing you got to plot your time. This is the type of passion you pull close. So decide what you're going to make. There's no too old, too hard, too late, too disadvantaged, too poor, too prone to mistakes. But there are second wins, second times around, and second chances, the power beyond the pain. I don't ask a child what they want to be. I ask them what they want to change. Don't bury your calling. Plant those seeds where you stay true. So when you find the grind and break through, you'll see the shine you deserve to embrace you. The divine that makes you. Are you just going to accept or be exceptional? A doer, a giver, a thinker, and achiever. Cut those chaos keepers, but bond with believers. Stop asking yourself who's going to let you be great when the question is, who can dare stop? Be persistent. Decide whether you're going to make excuses or a difference. Welcome your ambition. Decide whether you're going to make excuses or a difference. Know the X and Y of your existence. Don't make excuses. Make a difference, because your destiny is to be great. All history should know your name. Hold on through doubt. Be strong. Please know your destiny is great.
All right, y'all give him another hand, please. Amen. I said amen like we in church. What if I told y'all that I did this all to slick y'all and make y'all think this is all? No, I'm joking. It's not. I got a couple of preachers that can get a prayer through, and I got a couple of praise and worship leaders who can usher us in, but that ain't what we came to do tonight. So we're going to do it this way. Let me do it my way. I say, what's up, what it do? It's time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirklin, and we are here tonight, and we are making history tonight. You know how it's history? Number one, we've all been in existence for almost 3 years, and this is the first time we've done a podcast in front of a live audience, and you all are the first live audience. Do me a favor and give yourselves a hand, please. All right, and secondly, I got a chance to do it in my hometown, where I grew up at. I mean, like less than 2 miles from here. I went to high school at North Little Rock, Old Main. I used to walking the parade down Main Street in the cold, playing my little saxophone back in the day. So I got history here. So it just made sense to come back to Little Rock. And I appreciate all of you all. I mean, every fear that I had has been superseded and was really false evidence that appeared real, because it was a fear that I didn't need to have. So it's all good, and I'm here, and I appreciate y'all. And I want to thank my team. I'm gonna do that up front for making it happen. I got Netta, I got did I pronounce it right? Nita, how I pronounce it? Okay, I ain't even met some of these people. I just met them today. This is how good love people are. But Netta, I got Kiki. Kiki was in charge. She was handling everything for me. I got Vince back there on the ones and twos, if they want to call it that. I got Lakeisha. She's the one that greeted you all so gracefully when you came in. Kawana, she's responsible for making the stage and everything. Got Coy, she's one of our sponsors. You see her business on the shirt. And I had Rayfield Evans, he paid for the venue. I mean, Jacqueline, she's here. She donated all the food. I mean, everything has worked perfectly, right? And I want to appreciate them. Y'all give them a hand for me. Yeah. I came up with an idea, but to me, an idea, an acrostic for idea is I do everything alone, right? I do everything alone. That's an idea. But when you learn how to move it into vision status, you write it and you make it plain and people see it and they start to run with it. So I made it plain to Kiki. Kiki made it plain to Netta, and everything else has came together. And I'm excited about it, and here we are tonight. So we've come tonight on serious business, and that is to talk about the bonding of the sexes. Now, I came up with this idea, which turned into a vision because I got tired of seeing the battle of the sexes. I'm sick of the 50-50 conversation. I don't even want to eat at Cheesecake Factory. I could care less about Cheesecake Factory. I never liked it anyway. I don't want no Cheesecake Factory, okay? I'm over the I don't need a man syndrome. You don't need one, cool. To keep it to yourself. That's fine. Be happy, you and Jesus alone. That's good. But we don't care, okay? Because a lot of times all you're doing is spreading negativity, okay? So do what you do. Be cool with that. But let's work on bonding instead of battling. I'm sick of this whole thing. I'm thinking that a woman got some cats that think women are supposed to automatically submit to you just because you're a man. That don't work, bro. You got to earn that position in somebody's life. And we got to talk about those things, and we're going to have those types of conversations, right? And you know what? If the bond is tight, none of those things matter anyway. If the bond is tight, Danny, who cares who pays the bills as long as the bills get paid? If the bond is tight, who cares about all those other things? But the problem is this battle, or this alleged battle, has weakened the bond. And so part of my responsibility, I believe, because it's ministry for me, part of my responsibility is to try to strengthen the bond that has been weakened over time, right? So let's talk about a definition of a bond. I got two definitions of a bond. Number one, a bond is a connection between two surfaces. Now, for the sake of the night, we're going to say a bond is a connection between two people. I'm saying male and female. I don't know what y'all do. Hey, that's y'all's business. But I'm rolling with heterosexual male and female, okay? It's also a relationship based on between people, watch this, based on shared feelings, interest, and or experiences. So if we share these things, then that creates a bond, right? And if, guess what, Ricarol, if we don't share those things, we probably not going to have a bond. So I think a lot of times we try to fit and force what's not natural. If you had, never mind, I'm not going to preach. But anyway, so tonight, through a series of conversations, a couple of segments, I promise I'm still get you out of here on time. If you want to go get a drink, go do your thing. If you want to go get some food, go do that, but do it back there. And don't walk in front of the camera. Y'all know how y'all be in church, and they used to have just a little stand. And y'all, if you put the finger up, we still can see you. Danny, come on. So we're going to get this conversation started. Danny's going to get it started with me first, okay? Now, while she's coming, Danny made a post. She know how to turn mics on because she can sing real good and stuff. But Danny made a post a few weeks ago that caught my attention. I don't really get into the celebrities and people I don't know, the untouchable people. To me, that's unrealistic. So I deal with people that I see on a daily, you know what I'm saying? I might not know him physically, I might not know him personally, but I see him, right? And so I saw her post, and her post captured me. It captured me so much that I shared it. I'm going to read it right quick, and then I'm going to ask her what she was thinking when she wrote it, and then we'll go. And then as this conversation goes forth, if you all want to ask a question, I do have a mic right here. But I'm going to kind of keep a flow going tonight, okay? So here's the post. I got it. I wrote it. All right, cool. She said, the representative for a man is not enough for a woman who is mature, well-balanced, centered, established, in alignment, focused, and healed. She will not compromise her God self for one who didn't believe enough in himself to show up, but rather send his representative. She will not be disturbed or disrupted by this representation. She will continue to build, cultivate, manifest, and illuminate the space that she has created. So when it's time, her God-created man will add and not take away. He will provide peace and not chaos. He will cover and not expose. Don't chase, let him find you. Don't settle your value is too high. The representative will not last. And at the bottom, she put sending love. All right? So we got a clear understanding of what she just wrote. Okay? So I had some people jump on this. And first of all, when I did this, never mind, I'm not going to get into that part because I started having flashbacks and started fighting air and all that kind of stuff. I was hot that day. Just they had me hot on that day. So when you wrote this post, what prompted? First of all, who were you writing it to?
I was writing the post to younger females.
Okay.
I love God.
Mm-hmm.
I love my creator. I call him God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do realize that everything that we go through is to help somebody else. And so I'm 55 years old. And so I've experienced some representatives in my life. And so I'm at the point now where, I just want to, if I've already been down that road, if I could stop you from going down that road, then I'm going to do it. If you'll let me. Yeah. I'm very strategic about what I post on my page. I think about it. I marinate in it because I don't want anybody's blood on my hands. And so when I say sending love, that's what I mean. When I post, I'm trying to help. Some ask for it and some don't. But I do believe that if I'm prompted to post it, I'm going to post it. And somebody's going to get it. If I can help just one somebody, that's enough.
That's good. And that to me, I think so many people are irresponsible when it comes to posting. Because this is the thing to me. If a person allows you to assume a position of influence in their life, right, you're responsible for what you do with that influence, right? Now, I didn't know you were 55, okay, but you said you're 55. So you're at a place now where you got some 20-somethings and some 30-somethings and some teens that are coming along, right? Some that have not been in relationships yet, some that are going to go into relationships, some that have gone through broken relationships, right? And they don't know how to make it because it has you mad at the world. Now I'm writing the whole generation off, simply because I went through an experience. And so when you talk about representatives, you're not talking about bad men. You're talking about the people who send the representative. Mm-hmm. So that means that's not a one-size-fits-all statement.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, Otis, Big O, I don't wear shoes that don't fit. They tight or too big. You know what I'm saying? And so why do you think so many men were triggered, the ones that were triggered?
I think they should have slowed down and read the post from the beginning to the end. I think I read where one man said, I posted it all the while sending my representative. I'm saying you didn't read the post. Because I said, I've already done the work. Yeah. I explained what I had already done. Mm-hmm. And so for him to be upset, I think he just needed to slow down and read it again. Yeah. I told a gentleman the other day that what I post on Facebook is absolutely the truism of who I am. Ooh. But it's not the depth of who I am.
Tweet it. Yeah.
You know
Repeat
what I mean?
That one more time. You said that one more time.
What I post on
Somebody
Facebook.
need to tweet that or tell you something right quick. Yeah.
What I post on Facebook is absolutely the truism of who I am.
Yeah.
But it's not the depth of who I am.
Yeah. And you know what? If you have good intentions and you sow a seed, the seed doesn't return void, right? But I got to get spiritual on. But there's always something that's going to come and try to steal what the seed offers.
Absolutely.
See, you know, there's a grasshopper mentality, and what grasshoppers do is they catch a seed right when the potential that's inside the seed is about to come out of the shaft. The grasshopper steals the potential. So when she put that seed out, right, it's for an intended audience. If it, you know, like I said, if it's not for me, I'm gonna shake the dust of my feet and I'm gonna move. You know, I'm gonna go. And I was not offended, and honestly, I wanted to help her help young women. Mm-hmm. So that's why I shared the post. Avery, come here for a minute. Come on, I'm on Avery to come in on this count. And cause this, and you stay here for a moment. Well, like I said, it's not gonna be long. We ain't gonna be too long tonight. All right, cool. All right. So this is the problem for me. I'm gonna put this down for a hot second. This is the problem for me. Avery, and Avery is married. He has a beautiful wife back there. Y'all say hey, Lisa. Y'all say hey to his wife. All right. So he's been married 31 years, right? And so the same, huh? 32 years. Okay, we ain't been at the anniversary since then. My bad, since we started doing it. So, hi, my name is James. It ain't Jesus. But so. 32 years of marriage, right? And I asked, you know, so I bring Avery on as the married man in my group, you know, whenever I do things on the podcast. I ain't never had to worry about Avery going in a single woman's inbox and I'm getting a message about it. I get that about some people, and if you know who you are, say ouch, I don't care. That's why you're not back on anyway, because I can't mess up my brand. I refuse. So, do I sound like I'm lying? Am I lying? I talk to you about this kind of stuff, don't I?
Right, all the time.
Yeah. But the point is, so I've asked Avery real serious questions. Like, for instance, at least I don't know if you heard it or not, but one time I said, Avery, when did you figure this married thing out? He said, about year 18. But we want to quit after 2 or 3. 6 months. Yeah. But you learn how to be married. You learn to like each other. You learn to love each other. You learn each other's idiosyncrasies. You learn each other's proclivities. You learn all of these things, right, that will eventually make the bond stronger, because that's all it's about. But somewhere along the way, the bond got broken, right? The bond became weaker, right? And I could tell it's weak because when Dani makes a post like she made, it wasn't the single dudes that came in and started arguing and starting to try to keep. It was the married dudes. So, well, what about the woman's representative? We're not talking about that today.
Right.
That's like me going into a breast cancer rally and say, well, what about ovarian cancer? We're not talking about that today. We're talking about breast cancer right now. Today we were talking about men sending the representative. And at the end of the day, if it was not applicable, why be offended? Why be triggered? So, Avery, I know you didn't respond, so I know I'm going to have to ask you to use your sanctified imagination if you don't mind. Why do you think married dudes jumped on that conversation? Why were they so triggered?
Because they were looking at it from a place of their failures as a married man. And a lot of times when married men are triggered, it's because, and I know I have had moments where I'm looking at a post and I'm like, oh, I failed in this area. I didn't do as much as I could have. Or here it is, I can still grow. Because I said 18, but Lisa probably would tell you I'm still trying to figure this marriage thing out. Look, she ain't right there. She said, yeah.
I didn't see it. I want to see it again.
Because I knew some of the people that responded, and because of our relationships that I have with them, I knew it was from a place of failure that they were responding from, because they were upset because even married, they still aren't bringing who they really are.
Somebody said something in the audience. What did they say? A hit dog. A hit dog will. And you know, well, you stupid, Jess. I'm about to get you closer to the front. But listen, I feel everything he's saying. I failed in my marriage. I was married 20 years. I made it 20 years, right? 20, a dub, as these young folks say. Hey, I failed, but I got a lot of successes in that failure. Don't get me wrong, right? I mean, we got 3 beautiful children. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot, but I put a mirror on stage for a reason tonight. And at some point, I would hope that every one of us would scan the room. And when you look in the mirror, don't look at everybody else, look at yourself, right? And so I got a book that'll be coming out soon. I'll tell you the name of it later because I don't want none of y'all to steal my title. But while I was sitting there, I started looking in a metaphorical mirror. And when I started looking in that, and this is a conversation, so y'all cut me off whenever you want to. No, don't cut me off. But I looked in this metaphorical mirror, and Roz, I didn't like what I saw. Alfred, I often tell the analogy that for a lot of years in my marriage, I can tie my tie riding down the street because I can drive with my knee. Mm-hmm. I know where my teeth are, so I don't have to necessarily look in the mirror to brush my teeth, right? I don't have to, I know the corners of my eyes, so I can get the matter out. I'm good at that, right? So for a season, I think I went through a period where I never really looked in the mirror because I felt like I didn't have to. But here's the problem with that. When you don't look in the mirror, you don't see what everybody else sees. So when they tell you that there's a flaw, you don't necessarily believe it because you don't see it, right? And so for those years, and then that goes into year 1, year 5, year 10, year 15, and you haven't looked in the mirror, but then all of a sudden, when the rubber meets the road, as the country folk call it, right? And then you're all alone with quiet, because silence sounded like noise for me when my divorce first happened. Silence sounded like noise, right? So all of a sudden, I finally, as the prodigal son said, I came to myself, and I looked in this mirror. I said, damn. Excuse my French. I might cuss every now and then, y'all. I'm grown. But anyway. I am grown. I don't care. Yeah. Huh?
And you love the Lord.
And what?
And you love the Lord.
And I love him immensely. But yeah. But I looked in the mirror. But that's what I said at that moment. I said, dang. And the thing about it is, when you start looking in the mirror, you don't just see what's in front of you. You start seeing what's behind you. And rearview mirrors have a special kind of tape because they lift up what's behind you, so it look like it's in 3D, right? So I'm looking at behind like, oh my God, I did that? I did, but I saw my flaws, right? Avery said he had to deal with his failures in his relationship. The difference is, watch this, Lisa, the difference is pain is going to be produced in a relationship. The question is, how do you manage the pain? Exactly. Do you amputate when you feel pain, or do you rehabilitate when you feel pain? A lot of times we amputate because it hurts. How do you manage to continue to rehabilitate?
Well, the first thing you said, when you recognize the pain, you have to make a choice at that moment. You have to make a choice. A lot of times we know how to live with pain, in pain, and act like we're not in pain.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to do. Because you become accustomed, you become accustomed to the pain that you alter everything that's well, if that makes sense.
That makes very good sense. I don't mean to cut you off, but you need a microphone? Come get the microphone, please. I'm in charge. I want everybody to hear you. And turn around and let everybody see your pretty self. Turn around and smile at me. She said, somebody said, for real?
Authenticity was ever really promoted within us, so we never really got to the core of ourselves. So maybe 18 years it took you to really grasp what marriage was about, and I feel like that void, I don't think their generations were taught to be themselves. We were taught a role to play, and it's led a lot of us in a bad spot. We're in relationships that aren't healthy for us. Now, some of us have navigated ourselves and we've come out on top, but some of us just didn't know how to maintain within it because we weren't ourselves. We really weren't. I know in my marriages, I was just that chick that they chose. Yeah. And I've become the daughter of the Most High God, and never will I be in a situation to where I'm not valued in the appropriate way.
I was married. I've been married twice. My first marriage, I was married for 18 years. And I was the one in the role because that's what I saw. That's what my aunties and them did, When I decided to get divorced, one of my aunties was like, girl, you better go back and get your man. And I had to respectfully say, if he was my man, then he wouldn't have did what he did. So from there, that's when I started to groom myself. I would never be in that situation again, never. I have always made sure that I was established. So when I got divorced or when the man decided he wanted to leave or he wanted somebody else, my life didn't change. I told one of my girlfriends, I think it was this baby here, I said, it's amazing how my life has changed drastically but it ain't changed.
You gotta unpack that.
I like that.
You gotta unpack
I like that. I like that.
Meaning, now I'm very strategic, you know, so
I know, I'm
it's certain things I just ain't gonna say. But, you know, when you are the one that's getting up every day and you're making sure the house is ran, you're making sure things are the way they're supposed to be, and then when you wake up the next day and your husband decides, this ain't what I want no more, I'm not gonna be no damsel in distress because I know how to run my house. I know how to make it happen. I know how to make money. I had to do that. You know, so when the marriage dissolved, I was okay. Emotionally, no, but I knew how to get up and get the grind. I know how to make money. I know how to keep my life the way I deserve to have it. And it's just unfortunate, you know, that when that ended, the only thing that changed was that he wasn't there no more.
Now that's an interesting dynamic, and I sure wasn't trying to go down that road, but since you brought it up, I don't mind going. It's good. Because much don't usually change for the woman. You know, because honestly, I think she left me probably 3-4 years before she left me, right? So she was prepared to leave me. So they still had fish Fridays, they still had breakfast for dinner on Saturdays, you know, they still did. And I'm sitting over here, I'm like, if I die, don't nobody call me every day. You know what I'm saying? I went days without having, I'm laughing, but y'all laughing at my pain right now. I'm being honest with you. I'm healed now, so I can talk about it a little bit more, right? Because I ain't want my divorce. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want mine. So, you know, so I struggled, and I'm healed now. Thank God. It took a while. I get mad sometimes, but not like mad. Like I want to fight nobody, kick a wall or nothing like that. I get mad at the circumstance, but hey, because I feel like never mind. I almost had a moment on camera. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. Oh, Lord. I'm bad. My bad. I'm sorry. But, yeah. But so you have those. It's so many dynamics in relationships, right? We got right here, we got divorced man didn't want his, had to go adjust to living life, find life anew, start all over. Divorced woman was ready for it, knew how to handle the household. You know, I got to go in the closet, Roz, and I ain't got but like 2 colors of sheets, white and tan. I'm used to 1,700 thread counts and different colors and silk and everything else. Now I got 2 colors and 1 towel. The things change. I ain't even know you got to go buy towels.
Yeah.
You got to go buy napkins and paper towels and all that stuff. I thought that stuff was just in the closet, right? But you learn to live again.
Yes, sir.
Because what happens is after you go through this period of looking at the mirror and you don't like what you see and all these, because guess what? For several months, maybe even a year, I avoided the mirror still. Because I didn't want to be that dude. But when I finally looked at it and I said, oh, hey, self. Because this wasn't where I was supposed to be. See, sometimes we'll put a mailbox on Enough Avenue and think it's cool. We'll put a mailbox on Barely Get Along Boulevard and we'll think it's cool. Right? But we were never intended to live there. But we'll get in that space, and all of a sudden we'll fall into this rhythm, I like to call it, right? And then every day, you know, I mean, I used to wake up at 5 o'clock hoping the alarm clock wouldn't go off at 7. Just real talk, right? But these are different dynamics. You have heard the dynamics. She knew how to keep house. Nothing changed. She knew how to make money. She knew how to do those things. Me, I got to take care of myself. I literally got to take care of myself. Even as bad as things seem to be, I still ate every night. Because she never stopped being a woman. She never stopped being a mother, and I got the byproduct of some of those things. But, so here's the question. He talked about how he manages his pain, right? In fact, I want to talk about that a little bit more. When you do run into instances where pain, I mean, I'm using the metaphor for pain, right. How do you manage it? What do you do? I know my dad used to get in the car and drive. What do you do?
I'm quiet.
Okay.
I'm real quiet. Because I understand that if I'm not careful and it has happened, my pain is going to run off on her. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that. I don't want that because I've caused too much already. So now that I've matured in the relationship, there were some times that I just go off, you know, in a sense, and just let that pain spill on her. But now I get to a place called quiet, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. Yeah. Because it's bad because I'm not allowing her steal some of the intimate parts of me. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask, but have you learned to give more intimate parts over the years, though?
I believe I have. I think she.
Listen, has
Am
he
I,
learned to
am
give
I
more?
doing better?
And tell the truth, you're among saints. Pass over. Huh? He's doing better? Over the years. We're not gonna put you on camera. We're not gonna hand you a microphone. We're just trying to make sure you tell the truth. I don't want this Negro lying up in here to us tonight. That's all I'm saying. This has got to be authentic tonight. We're not smiling for the gram tonight, okay? This is real. No, but real talk though. Listen, everybody, Coy is a nurse practitioner, okay? She's a medical professional. But you don't treat everybody's wound the same. Right. Because you manage pain differently. Some things need stitches. Some have gotten infected and they need what? Antibiotics. Some might take pills. Kids might have to take it in a spoon or a syringe, whatever. But you do what's necessary to manage the pain. The problem a lot of times in relationships, especially when we're young, because we get it right the second time. I don't know what the statistics are, but I believe the statistics are better for second marriages than the... I ain't talking about your specific situation. I said statistical situation. Hold on. Y'all trip me. Wait a minute. Let me help y'all right quick. Hold on. Listen. Y'all can't make general things specific, okay? I can do it. Hold on. No. But no, but real talk. Because you should. Huh? Keyword in that thing was I. Personal pronoun. But no, I'm joking. You know I do this for real, so if I don't want to crack no jokes, you mad at me walking in? Yeah. Oh, hold on. You want to say something?
No.
Okay. All right. But real talk, because me personally, I can think, and I will get married again one day. I mean, I feel that. I really honestly feel that. But the thing is that I know the mistakes I made in the last one. And I even thought who over there speaking out? Oh, never mind. Even Lord, I forgot what I was about to say. I ain't gonna lie to you.
My Lord.
Huh?
My Lord.
That's what I was saying. He's mine too. Don't take him out. Don't take. Come on, Roz and Alfred. Y'all come closer, please. Y'all come closer. Y'all stay close, but y'all come closer. In fact, let them come on the stage right quick, please. Let them come on. He ain't got no music because his phone died. We could turn the music on of transitions. We'll have it fixed up. I'm telling everybody's business. I don't care. Don't go far. He's singing it. Y'all say amen for, oh no, y'all clap your hands. I'm sorry, clap your hands for Roz and Alfred. I stole on him right there. He ain't see it. You want some other? Okay, he wants you to say, yeah, he don't want two dudes. Yeah, you see, you didn't understand what just happened. That was man code. He didn't want two dudes sitting beside each other. That just didn't make sense, honestly, and I appreciate you for that as well. He was a good point guard. Otis, I'm still upset with this dude, bro. Because that was the year you graduated, wasn't it? Yeah. He stole our state championship, bro. You remember Craig Collier and Dennis Fountain and Kevin Watkins and Johnny Bryan and Marcus Dortch. That was our starting five. I know them all, starting five. And we was up by 13 with about 2 minutes left, and they started doing high fives and stuff. That was in Pine Bluff, too, wasn't it? Didn't nobody tell Alfred and Jonathan that the game was over with, okay? Because they started shooting these threes, and we started missing shots. I mean, walk the ball down the court.
It wasn't me.
Huh?
It wasn't me.
It was.
Y'all give me a second. I got to have this moment for a second.
You said this was
I
not.
promise it wasn't a setup. It wasn't a setup. Okay.
That's what you
Hey,
said.
I'm just joking. Yeah, no, real talk. Listen, real talk. When I thought about doing the bonding of the sexes, I thought about couples. And I thought about couples here locally, of course, in Little Rock. And like I said, Facebook's the only thing that I really have to communicate with a lot of people. So I watched them, and I watched their relationships, right? And I saw a light. I saw a light in their relationship. You know, they live their life openly. They take pictures together. You know, she supported him through his personal ordeals. You know, all those things, and to see that, you know, and something. You know what? I was teaching Bible study the other night, and I read that scripture said, "Let your light so shine before men," right? And a lot of times we don't let it, Danny. We make it, and when you make it, then you lose the power because it becomes a you thing instead of a God thing, right? If you just let it, certain things just have a way of happening, right? And so when you watch them, it don't look like they're trying to make nothing happen. You know, when you see that smile it's authentic when you see them looking at each other in their eyes. Now, unless they can fake it real good, I don't know, but some things I feel like I got a spirit of discernment. That's real. All right, cool. He got a military outfit on, so I believe him. I mean, he's trained. He can shoot and everything. Bro, we are good in here, okay? I promise I don't want no smoke. But I got some cousins in here, and they carry too, but I'm just playing. I'm joking. Put him on the camera. Let's make sure everybody can see it. Get him. If anything happens to me, it was him. All right, cool. So I wanted to bring, seeing them. And I ain't gonna lie, I asked Vince to get in touch with him, and Vince was nervous to get me. He said he was gonna do it, but Vince, he knew you was going through what you were going through. So people were scared to approach you. You know what I'm saying?
It was cancer, prostate cancer.
You get your story, testimony tells. I'll let you tell it, okay? But God delivered him from prostate cancer. Say, yeah. Amen. All right, cool. And so when I noticed he was healed, because they posted about it, and my dad went through a very public sickness last year, and people were like, why are you posting all your business? I need people to pray. Right. And then I need them to know that when he comes out, who it was. Right. Because I don't want any of the credit. So I made sure I posted the PEEP number, how much oxygen he needed this day. I mean, I told when he started peeing in the thing, when they diluted his kidney, and I told everything, right? How many IVs with him. I needed y'all to know so that when he overcame, y'all would be like, well, nobody but the Lord that brought him out. And so to see him public in his journey and her supporting him, I'm sitting there like, oh, man, I messed mine up. But I moved on quick. I did. So I went in the inbox, and I put them in a little copy group together. I'm going to get them. Watch this. I got to go fishing. My daddy taught me how to fish. Daddy fished with nets. I can't throw off the pole. Derek can tell you, I suck at fishing. I'm not good at that. So my daddy, I learned the ministry of the middle finger. Trust me. I cuss on camera, bro. I ain't worried about that. They know I'm crazy. I'm nuts. But anyway, nuts. I don't say hard cuss words. I say yeah, and they calculate it most of the time, for real. So anyway, my dad taught me how to fish with nets, so I know how to put the trot line in the water and go out and do something else, then come back and get it right. So I put the net out, and I set it there for a day and a half, then finally they responded. I said, yes. And I knew I had them because they were interested, and I explained to them. And I made sure in my approach, that I told you who I was, told you what I was trying to do, told you what I thought, what I saw, and how I thought you could benefit. I did that in about a paragraph and a half. And they said, oh, wow, thank you. We're honored. That meant a lot. Why were you honored?
I mean, I think anytime somebody can see what God is doing in you and want you to come and share with them, and equally God is doing something in you, and then we all get to come together and share what God is doing in all of us. So I think it's always an honor when the Lord lays you on someone's heart to ask you to come and share what he's done for you.
So did you see what I saw? Excuse me, did you see what I saw? I mean, were you surprised at my words? Because you didn't know me from Adam. Right. I mean, no clue who I was. Were you surprised that I said, this is what I want you to be a part of?
I went off her discernment.
Okay.
I asked her, what you think? And she said, it's cool. I said, okay, let's do it. So
that's a bond. And that's to me is a bond, right? And that's what's missing. That's what's missing in a lot of relationships, right? I don't know if y'all caught the body language when they first came up here. When I asked her a question, did y'all see what they did? She looked at him, and that didn't take any of her womanhood away. She's still Pastor Roz, still woman, mother of his children, all those things. She looked at him. He said, go ahead, baby. She looked back at me, and that's submission. And see, the reason I believe, and I know that's a bad word to a lot of folk, I get it. But some people got mad at me. This is my cousin, but she look, huh? Oh, okay, I thought I saw something. Like, I got hot right here, but you will fight for me. This is my cousin, we'll be okay.
You saw right.
Yeah, I did see right. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, they like submit. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Watch, and we're gonna talk, and the single people gonna talk about this in a minute. But if he commits, she don't mind submitting. Ooh, I wish I had hoop triggers right there. I would have tuned up right there. Yeah. if he commits, you got it, okay? If he commits, she doesn't mind submitting.
It's actually natural.
It's natural.
I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just what it is.
So how long have y'all been married?
It'll be 32 years this year.
Okay. Now I'm gonna notice something else she just did. I don't miss nothing, okay? See, a lot of times we as men miss that conversation. We miss that answer. I ain't gonna lie, I would miss. I ain't gonna ask you over there, bro. Derek said, shut up. But your wife ain't here, so we good. Hello. Yeah. 27? 26 for you? Okay. 32 for them, right? Now, but when I asked him, she answered quick, because we'll mess that up. Yeah, we don't count. You know, it don't matter. And it don't take it. But anyway, no, I'm just joking. But you knew 32 though, right?
No, he didn't. I just had to tell him back there.
Okay.
I told him when we get up here, it's
33.
Yeah.
But love covers a multitude of sins. So anyway, now I'm going to talk to you for a moment. All right. So y'all been together 32 years. So how old are you? 50? Not you. I'm going to ask women, so I ask him. How old are you? 53? You 51? You my age? What year you come out?
I came out in 90.
But you was killing us in 88? Jeez, he said, yeah, he finally admitted it. Okay. He finally admitted that. We can move forward now that you've admitted this. Okay. So 20 years ago, so y'all high school sweethearts?
Yes.
Okay. So what has happened? Because lenses have changed. You know, y'all have gone from being high school sweethearts, going to the prom, all those things. Now you've gone through college. Where'd you go to college?
I did a tour of colleges.
You did what?
I did a tour.
Okay, but you went off to college to play ball and all those things.
Yes.
So, but y'all stayed together.
Yes.
What were y'all doing to build the bond during that time?
We had started earlier because before we started dating, we had became friends in the 7th grade.
Okay.
And so our friendship, you know, so from 7th grade to 12th grade, we were friends. So we were talking about each other's relationships.
Okay.
And I had to slide in that way to get her. I had to, yeah.
You know, Coy, I used to ask the question, can you move from the friend zone to the end zone? Now, they're proof that you can move to the friend zone to the end zone. But you've established, because a lot of people think you can't, it's hard to move from friends into relationships. You did it? How?
I mean, he just became the person that everything that happened in my life, he was the first one I wanted to tell.
Wow.
But it was understood
that
in the 7th grade, I tried to.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was understood that in the 7th grade, that was the whole goal. And so it took me from the 7th grade to the 12th grade to come in and say, okay, well, I can.
Patient.
Yeah, I couldn't get her that way, so let me build a friendship. Let's bond. And so then from there, from friendship, it was like, cool, this just makes sense. It makes sense for us to be together. It makes sense because we were already so tight. We were so tight that we was making each other's boyfriend, girlfriends mad.
Oh, wow.
You see, yeah, they knew. They knew. And so it just made sense. Okay. And I had already told her in the 7th grade when I first saw her at the track at Forest Heights. When I first saw her, I had already told her. I told my friend, I told my boy, I said, 7th grade, she's the one.
Oh, wow. You said it that soon? Did you know? Did he tell you too?
Well, he told me later.
Okay.
But he did try to talk to me in the 7th grade, but no, I mean, I just wanted us to be friends. We'd been introduced, and I thought he was a cool guy or whatever, but, you know, I was just kind of like, well, we just be friends.
So when did y'all start dating?
We started dating 12th grade.
Okay.
12th grade, and
You had a flashback, though. Don't tell it all. You can't tell it all.
Yeah.
Don't tell it. I'm not expecting you to tell it all.
Yeah.
But if you tell it, I ain't gonna be mad.
Yeah. Well, 12th grade. 12th grade. We started dating actually the winter, the holidays of '89.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So he's popular. He's that basketball dude. You got people. How do you handle the other women?
Well, so when we got in high school and he tried to talk to me again, I absolutely refused because I didn't want to be in that whole thing.
Okay.
I just, it was just too much drama around him. Not that he was causing the drama, but just with, females and stuff. And that just wasn't my thing.
Okay.
So I initially, was like, no, I'm good. And even had some of his some girls that liked him say some stuff to me. And that put the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, yeah, absolutely not. But once we did finally start dating, it wasn't so much about me and the females. It was more about what he did to the females. And he made me feel safe.
Oh. Hold on. Put a pause up. Pop, stop. Hold on. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. As men, we cover. We're the stronger vessel. That's why I don't argue with women. I say it all the time, Phoenicia, you hear me? Danny, you might not have heard me, but I'm going to tell you now, I don't argue with women because I don't argue with nobody I can't fight. Okay? So I don't argue with women. I don't even go back and forth on posts because I'm not going to fight a woman. It's just not it's not natural to fight. So I'm not arguing with nobody I can't fight, right? So my job is to cover, right? So he's saying, I know other women are trying to check for me. I know these things are taking place. So she said, she acknowledged it wasn't what they did, it's how he responded to what they did. Right. That's powerful. So what did you do?
Well, for us in that dating phase, what we did was, because of that dynamic and because of the other women and all of that, the other girls at that time, we just said, we came to agreement that we're going to go ahead and just work on us. So we told everybody else, basically, you got to go.
Well, but he also, when we would be out, because, when you're young and you're in high school and all of those things, you're childish, you're immature. So we would run into females at the mall because that's where we would hang out or whatever. And they would try to approach him and not say anything to me. Well, he would check them. Okay. And so it always just made me feel like, I was, like he was really for me. And so I think that was one of the things that he really did for me, was just that I didn't have to say anything. So it never left me feeling any type of way because he always stood up for me.
Well, you're just showing me all my mistakes, and I appreciate that, but that's cool. But I get it. I don't like you no more. But anyway, real talk, that's strong. Because when you talk about, and we're talking about the bonding of the sexes, right? And bonds are built. They don't, I think sometimes we act like we live in such a microwave society, right? And that everything just happens naturally and fast. And we think that we're supposed to get what took them 32 years to build, we're supposed to get it in 2 years or 3.2 years. It don't happen like that, right? You got to live and make it happen and go through these things. But I know one thing that I know women want is security. Yes. And the more you make them feel secure, the more they'll submit, the more they'll give you everything that you want. What are the fruits of you allowing her to feel secure? What do you feel in your home? Because I see you with your little lunchbox leaving the house and all that kind of stuff. What's in the lunchbox, man?
She hooks it up. Man, the fruit of allowing and setting it up for there to be security. The fruit of that is actually freedom. Wow. Freedom is freedom.
Hold on, you got to unpack that freedom piece.
Well, it's because she's secure, I'm free to be me. I'm free to minister. I'm free to I'm free to get on my phone and check my phone without trying to hide my phone. Wow. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free spiritually. I'm free mentally. It's a depth to that. And it really was a blessing, and we saw that even during our hard times.
Wow.
In our marriage.
Okay.
Because I did break trust.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Do you mind?
I don't mind.
Okay. Because this is the thing right here when we talk about bonds, right? Bonds are strengthened. And sometimes they get weaker. Because I was going to ask you, when the times came, the things came to challenge the bond, and the bond became fragile, what did you do to re-strengthen it And what was the process, what did the process look like? How long did it take? You know, because I need people to understand that there are things that are going to come that show the true fragility of a bond, right? But some things that are fragile break, but some things are mended. And you all chose, as opposed to amputating, you chose to rehabilitate. What does that rehabilitation look like?
It was hard.
Okay.
It was hard.
So it wasn't easy.
Absolutely.
You didn't read a self-help book or take a pill
I
or
wish.
go back to a, okay.
I wish. It was hard. It was hard work. But one thing that I knew when I went into this marriage is that I was absolutely his and he was absolutely mine. There was no doubt in my mind.
In the beginning.
In the beginning,
Gotcha.
no doubt. I mean, no doubt, none at all. So when the bond was broken, one of the things that he allowed me to do was heal in my own time.
Okay.
He didn't rush my healing. He didn't say, 6 months down the line when we out somewhere and I just look at him looking at somebody and get mad or whatever. He didn't just say, you still dealing with that? You need to get over that. It's been 6 months.
The one that breaks the bond does not have the ability to put a time limit.
Will you take a close-up on him, what he just said, please? I need you all in his mouth. I mean, real talk. Say it one more time.
If the one that breaks the bond
Okay.
does not have the right, nor should not even have the gall to put a time limit on somebody else's healing.
Self-prison. Self-incarceration. I did it to myself. Wow. Go ahead. Finish.
So he allowed me that time to heal. Not only did he allow me the time to heal, but he gave me the space to do that. So even when, we have seemingly gone through 6 months and, we've been good for 6 months. And then I'm watching Maury one day and he like, yeah, you cheated. It showed on the lie detector test that you cheated. And now I'm mad all over again from watching Maury, But, the crazy part is that I never had to say I was mad. He was so in tune with me that he knew I was upset. So he fixed it before I could even say it. And so I think, just the way that he handled me in my pain allowed me to be able to heal and allowed me to be able to continue to want to be his wife.
So I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask him right now. So his infraction, and we don't care what it is, it doesn't matter, okay? But his infraction didn't disintegrate the bond.
No. I mean, to be honest with you,
you understood the question, didn't you? Okay.
It ended up making us stronger.
Okay.
It really ended up making us so much stronger. And one of the things that we had to understand was when we sat down, because it was infidelity, just, so you'll know that's what it was. And we were both, in church and everything, and the Lord just didn't give me permission to leave. I wanted to leave. I asked to leave. And the Lord just was like, absolutely not. I never got the okay to leave. But we sat down, and when we talked about, how our healing was going to take place and, what we were going to do to make things better, his patterns just began to change. And it was like I was able to start to trust again because I knew that, his patterns were just, it proved that he had changed. And so it opened us up to be healed. It opened us up to remain. I even went to the Lord, and I remember I wanted to lash out. I wanted to say stuff, and God would always just almost like he would pinch my lips together and just be like, you better not say that. And one day he allowed me to see past just the exterior. And he was like, look from where I'm looking. And when I looked from that place, it opened my heart up in such a way that I was able to see him in a different light. And I told him, I said, I want to help you. Because at that moment, my soul was grieved that my husband was in a position that if he died where he was going to hell. So I looked even past the pain that he had caused me because I wanted him to be saved. That was like my desire. Like, I want you to like have this relationship with God so that you can be saved. And so all of this stuff that you're doing, we're going to work through this because I need you to get to that place. And so it was just one of those places where God had me at the time. But I mean, I had to really trust God because I had to trust God with everything I had. So
go ahead, bro. You want to respond to what she said? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's deep. First of all, let's unpack what he said. He said, if I'm the one who made the infraction, but I'm paraphrasing, how can I be the one who established how long she gets to grief? How long was that grief process?
Years.
Okay.
It was years. It's crazy because the infraction happened in moments, I'm sure. But well, I'm just saying, in my mind.
Moving on up.
We'll let her stay right there. Don't stay right there.
But it took years. It took years. It took years to rebuild because, again, you think you're healed and then something happens and it knocks you all the way back. Listen, infidelity is like you get PTSD from that stuff. Like, it ain't no joke. The person that's cheated on, like, you go through so much mental torment. Your mind takes you in that bedroom, in the bed, and all of the things. Like, you know what's going on. And so one of the things that he allowed me to do was he allowed me to ask all the questions as many times as I wanted to, over and over and over again.
But you got to understand, you got to always understand that I've learned that Roz and most women are very strategic. So her asking questions over and over again wasn't just to be asking questions. It was literally see if the story is going to change.
Oh, wow. Oh,
you see, you gotta
when you
recognize.
tell the truth, you ain't gotta remember nothing. So if you tell me the same thing every time I ask you, and it's been 2 years and I'm still asking, you still got the same answer, then you must be telling me the truth. I mean, I'm suffering.
Hold on. Hold on. I feel your question, and I get it. And you're saying that as a person who hasn't gone through it.
Yeah. But
hold on.
I will say this.
Okay, well, then you have gone through it then, but you didn't. Only difference is they stayed together. So, yeah, he said you've been divorced, right? Yeah, I guess.
Well, I'll say this though.
Go ahead.
I did. I mean, when you love your spouse, I love this man. Even in the midst of everything that had happened, there were times where I went to him and I said, "Look, I know this is having you relive it over too, and I'm sorry that but I'm having a moment. I need you to help me through this moment." So it wasn't like I was just like, "Oh, you done." No. It wasn't that at all. It was more of, "Hey, today I'm not in a good place. And I know that you don't want to answer these questions again, but I need to know da-da-da-da-da." And he would just allow that. And I think it was because he knew that we were both in a place where, I knew it was hurting him, but he knew I was hurt too. So we were both healing together. So it wasn't like anything toxic where I was just like taking him down through there. Now, we did have some days when it was, right in the thick of it. But as we got through it a little bit, it was more of a conversation.
And when you have that bond, when you have that bond, and we really have that friendship and that bond, then we were able to go through those times, and we were able to use words to each other that basically would say, "I'm not going to manipulate you. I'm not going to manipulate you with my pain, but this is how I feel." Then that would give me an opportunity to respond in a way that would build up the relationship, that I would be able to give her what she needed, and ultimately, if I did that, then I would get what I needed. So I would have to recognize, okay, she's hurting, so but this bond, this friendship, we still got it. So let's go through this thing together, even though, there was some hard times. What are you going to say something in a minute?
I was saying, although he acted a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, out of his nature, he still loved her regardless of that. So he was patient, and love is patient.
Love is very patient.
Yeah.
Real love. And let me say this. And Derek, I see you. I'm going to come to you in a second, David. This is the other thing right here, is that we like to put one-size-fits-all scenarios on other people's relationships. Okay, but every relationship is individual and unique, right? And has its own fingerprint, right? So, and notice, I feel you. But you say, how long that brother got to suffer? As long as he wanted to suffer. You feel what I'm saying? As long as he was cool with suffering, I ain't offended for him. You know what I'm saying? That's just his thing. Now, me, I might not have that whole, I might not want to suffer as long, and I might, exit stage left real fast. But if Alfred chooses to suffer, I'm not going to get offended for Alfred. And I find out a lot of times in relationships, there's so much projecting going on because I'm saying what I won't put up with. You got that hand up. I see you. I'm gonna go to Derek, then I'm gonna go to Ricarol. She said, ooh, 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 ooh. Derek, what are you going to say? Derek been married 26, 27 years as well. So, but different relationship. Yeah. These are Warrens, those are Turners. But yeah.
I can feel.
He said yes.
Okay, then I need the mic. Met my lady in school, can relate to you guys. Friendship first. Did that make a difference in this, I call it a battle. I mean, I'm using my words. The battle that you guys experienced, you knowing each other since the 7th grade, did that have an impact? I understand the Lord.
Yeah.
Not taking him out of the equation, diminishing his, but did that make you fight more? And he asked the question, how long should you suffer? My opinion, if she meant anything to him, you can't put a timeline on how long the suffering takes place. I'm asking you a question. Did that have an impact on you digging in what he said? And you could have amputated, like you said, you wanted to. But did that have an impact with both of you?
So it's crazy because when we tell people our story, a lot of times I tell people that even when he was doing his dirt, that I never felt like he didn't love me. And I know that sounds really crazy because like he doing his thing and he doing me wrong, right? But there was never a time where I felt like he didn't love me, ever. Like we had this relationship that, when we were together and our friendship, we were vibing friendship-wise. We may have not been sleeping together, but friendship-wise, we were still doing everything that we... During the time. There has never been a day in my marriage, out of all of the stuff that we've been through, that I felt like my husband didn't love me. And I know that to some people might sound mind-blowing because you say, well, if you love me, then you wouldn't hurt me, right? But
it don't work that way. It don't work that way.
But see, I also, let me say this because before y'all move on, but let me say this, I wasn't perfect in the marriage either. So I can't sit here and just say, well, yeah, he cheated on me. Well, yeah, but I wasn't doing my job as a wife either. So I made it pretty easy for a hungry man to go out into a world full of women who was ready to feed him. And I understood that. Right. So I had to take my responsibility. I had to take responsibility for my inability. What was I not? I was not having sex with my husband the way he wanted me to. I wasn't.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So it's not an excuse. It's definitely not an excuse. But here's the thing that you have to understand. We love God, but we still in flesh. And as a man, when men need to have needs that need to be met, they lose their mind sometimes. I'm just saying. But I also understand I can't justify what he did. I can only justify what I didn't do. And I know what I didn't do. I know that I was not the wife that I needed to be intimately for him. And so when he did what he did, was he justified? No. But it made it easy. Yeah. So I had to take responsibility in that.
And let me say this. Because I don't know why I picked him, but now I do. Okay. All right. When Jesus, after he ascended, right, he met the disciples on the Emmaus Road, right? And they didn't believe who he said he was, right? So what did he do? He showed them his wounds. He said, I need you to see the scars. I need you to see the pain that I went through. When I bring them on stage tonight, and they're man enough, woman enough, couple enough, married couple enough, married powerful couple enough to say, I messed up. And then her to say, well, I messed up. I probably created an atmosphere that could have pushed him out. That ain't on for none of us to judge, right? Because they've come out tonight and showed us their wounds. See, what folk do, you will show them their wounds. See, I'm going to do this right quick. The church is the only army that kills its own wounded. Right, we'll see we already wounded and we'll want to shoot us again. No, but at the end of the day, they've come and committed metaphorical spiritual suicide and said, we messed up. But 32 years later, we still have a bond. And they ain't but 51, so if the Lord let them live 20 more, they're going to make that 50 mark, right? And who am I to quantify or judge or say anything about anything that they've done? Each relation, I could bring Derek on stage, he could talk about his relationship. And they had a very different journey. He ain't going to do it, but it's a very different journey, right? We could bring Pastor Jenkins and Lady Jenkins on here, you know, and they can't, they'll mess us all up. Because everybody has their own journey. And so when they want to come on stage, well, agree to come on stage and share their wounds. And she sees her, because I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all probably thought that Negro messed up on that good woman like that. Y'all thought it. I ain't just be honest. Somebody, not necessarily in the room, but somebody out there thought it, right? Yeah, they thought it. Y'all thought, man, how you gonna mess up? Man, she pretty, man. She got a pretty smile, man. I can't believe he messed up on that. Yeah, y'all did it. I ain't know you be lying, because y'all know y'all, no. So, but they cool with it. And when I said the bonding of the sexes, they thought about their bond. And have y'all had any conversations about what might potentially take place tonight? Not really?
We weren't really sure.
Okay. All they told me was don't set him up about the basketball thing, and I did that anyway, so that's cool. But no, I appreciate you all for coming. Really, I do. Somebody told me to ask y'all one more question. I think you might have answered it, though. I said, what do you do? What do you do to strengthen it? How do you maintain your bond?
How do you maintain the bond?
Yeah.
One of the things that we tell couples and one of the things that we've practiced for years to maintain bond is very simple, very simple. And this is date. Date your spouse. Date your spouse. Keep dating. Don't stop date. Don't stop looking good for your man. Don't stop looking good for your wife. Do those things that you were doing, and even after years of being together and dating, even if it's just going to Sonic and enjoy a shake together. Just sit out there, listen to the music, date, have fun. Take time to date each other. And even for the single people, date that person. And we tell people this, why would you marry somebody not knowing what kind of tree they are?
I'm sorry, I'm not bad.
Why would you marry somebody not understanding the fruit they produce? You shall know the tree by the fruit it bears. So what dating does is it opens you up to get to know people. What dating does in the marriage, it opens you up to keep we evolve. Yeah. So I keep dating her, so I get to keep knowing her.
Your turn.
No, that's what I was gonna say. As you grow together, you evolve, and so you're not the same person. And so it's important that you go out and you have those date nights so that you can continue to get to know each other.
And church is not a date night.
Church what?
Church is not a date night.
Ricarol, what's your question?
It's two-part. We're going to roll around a little bit.
Come on.
We're going to go back to, how long should he suffer? When it comes down to, when it comes down to suffering, I believe the two of them have reached a place to where nobody's suffering. I think they have traveled a journey together through life, through the ups and downs of learning and growing and dealing with each other through our flaws. And that's the part that, as humans, we won't allow each other. We won't acknowledge what our shortcomings are And at the time when we're, you know, on that chopping block, and it's our time to be that pillar, that soft place, or that rock for her to land during that healing space, he wasn't thinking about himself. He was thinking about his wife. And I commend him for that, because while he was thinking about her, she too was thinking about him, and that's the space that allowed them to heal. Now, moving on. Question for the men. We're going to talk about the single thing. When it comes down to dating, he mentioned something, and this is something that I see in the men in my life, my father, my brothers, you know, the people in this room even. A man knows what his intentions is for a woman off top. Off top. So I don't do the casual thing, and I get a lot of flack for that. A lot. And I'm going to stand my ground, because right in here is showing me that a man knows what he wants off top. You don't think it's true? Okay, explain.
Just to answer whatever you're saying, this ain't on, but we may have an idea. You have to understand, as a man, we are sexual. So when we see you, the first thing we see is ass, excuse me, booty, titties, and face. This is honest. This is from a man. So when we see that, that's what we look at. You never hear a man say, he's special. He said, I know she's mine. Most men say, I want to knock her off. Okay, and then, hold on, it's the truth. You don't have to accept it, baby, but it's true. So then we look and we conversate with you, and then we say, oh, I can go far. It's not every man, but every dog don't bite you, but if you see a dog, you think it'll bite you, right? Okay, so I'm not speaking for every man. You have to deal in majority, because what you come across is majority. So
let me bring some clarity.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish. Hold on. But let me bring some clarity back to this situation, okay? Because hold on, I promise I'm coming back to you, and you're going to come on stage in a minute too. But this is the thing, and this is what causes a lot of confusion for a lot of couples, to be honest with you, is we want to put everything in categories. And I don't care what nobody say. Last time I checked, anatomically, God made us all have different fingerprints. So if we all have different fingerprints, then why do we put everything in category? Why do we say men do this and women do that instead of Ricarol did this or Sharon did that? And it's so easy to say men did this, right? I've met some women that, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never met a woman that I said, this is my wife right up front. And I was married to one for 20 years. I ain't never met one. Now I've met a lot that I said, ugh. And I thought some thoughts I had to repent about. I ain't gonna lie. No, I'm joking. Go ahead and say that.
You can't generalize every man, okay? No man fits that mold. But a lot of men are, you know, roaming around and just watching your body. They do, and I get 9 out of the 10 of the men that I talk to, that's the zone that they're in. I choose not to entertain unless you know what your desires are for me, because I'm not anybody's match.
So you don't, what I'm saying is, and so you said you 9 out of 10, you get that, right? 9 out of 10 is an A. 1 out of 10 is an F. When you take a test, 1 out of 10 is an F. So you have to kind of generalize that, because this is what you encounter. So what I'm saying is, as a man, when we talk to you, when we immediately get that conversation, that kind of dictates what we want then. So when we had that conversation, oh, well, she's more than this. So now let me take her now I can talk to her. Her conversation, now I can get to know her. I'm telling you, as when we see you, this is what we see. But the conversation that you have after that dictates where we want to go with you. Oh, yeah, we want to go further, or your conversation can say, she's nothing but someone I just want to knock off. So the conversation that you bring when you meet that man dictates what he wants. And so he could see you and say, you are an attractive woman, that you present right now that you're someone that would want to be dated. Now, after that, your conversation may say, she's not that. And so that's what dictates how a man moves and how he follows. Your conversation, we go off y'all. We can't do nothing that you don't allow us to do. So that's the thing that women have to take responsibility for too. We don't really come in. I mean, it's both of us, but you have to, like, how do you present yourself if you continue to get that?
Gotcha.
Because the real, like you say, if you lay the laws down right now, ain't no buster gonna come. He gonna leave you because he know he can't handle that. So you know what I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. So that's what happens.
All right, come on, come on, get on stage, bro. Get on stage. Let's segue. Yeah, come on. All right, we got another question. Fix that one for me. That's fourth mic. I need that one fixed. We got one more question. All right, then. Al, what's up, baby?
Yes, ma'am.
We know I talked about this. You beat no man back in the day, so don't bring that up no more.
So this is just my personal belief. For men, and when I think about men, I'm talking about myself. We grew up not knowing what it is to be a man, and so there's a missing representation. Until a person can love, he first may be able to know what his purpose is. And so when you realize that God designed you and you find yourself, then your perspective change on everything. And so when I found Jesus, my whole perspective about women changed. It wasn't no more looking at the bust or whatever, because now I look at her as a sister. Because my perspective changed. I had to mature. And when I matured, God gave me, when I found my identity, who I was in Christ, then I knew who I was, and I was able to respect women what they would be respected for. The problem
That's
with
good.
Men,
Keep talking. Keep talking.
The problem with men is this. We have pride issues. And our pride won't allow us to accept some things that women might say, even though we know that they're right. We refuse to accept that. Why? Because I'm a man, and you're not going to do me like this. That comes from pride. And so we have to be submissive to God. Paul made a statement. Follow me as I follow Christ. Now, if you're not following Christ, then that means you don't have to follow. Are you hearing what I'm saying? She don't have to follow. And so that's all I want to say about that.
Oh, Lord. I hear you. That's good. Okay. Listen, we're going to segue right now. We're going to change. Y'all give Pastor Roz and Pastor Alfred a hand. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. But let me tell you, if the scripture says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, I'm just taking a walk, and I just end up where I'm supposed to be. So we've really switched to the singles on the panel, so y'all can evaluate us married folk in here and tell us how messed up we are. We on the mind. Cause we keep stumbling over simplicity. Y'all, it's still some more alcohol in there, so go drink it. And don't worry about what's in my cup. It's all juice. We good. All right. Thank you. I got jokes. Okay, he gonna ask a question.
You gotta keep in mind, every relationship is not spiritual either. See, and that's the thing. You know, when you're in yourself, that's why you can't forgive like you need to when you're in yourself. You know, you got to be spiritual in a relationship, and every person is not spiritual. That's true. And that's what messes us up.
Mr. Hanson, he had to get it in.
That's that tree.
That's right. Every relationship, you need to get some spirit in y'all's relationship. Some type of higher power, whatever y'all call him that. I don't stress. You know what? I used to be offended what other folk believed. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you believe something in this day and age, you know what I'm saying? And Paul said, above all things, let's live peaceably. And that's what he said. Among all men. He ain't leaving nobody out. All encompasses a whole lot. So what we've done now is we've segued to the single portion of what we're doing, right? And I was going to talk about something specifically, but I forgot what it was. But I got it now. But at the end of the day, what I heard my brother here saying is that we have to mature. We get to a certain point as we mature. I ain't gonna lie. When I first got my Pastor Alfred, can me and you talk for a minute? Let's act like we're in a counseling session. Ain't nobody else in the room but me and you, okay? All these other people don't really matter. It's just me and you talking right now. When I first got got divorced, I thought I had a license to go out and be as promiscuous as I wanted to be. I could run with as many women as I wanted to. I could date everybody. I could do all those things. I was like, yes, I'm ready. And I sit at home every night by myself. And when people come over to visit, I got my favorite line, which is, what you about to do? Because I'm ready for you to go. Because you know what? I got to a point where, and this is me talking, that I really didn't like me. And because I didn't like me, I wasn't going to put nobody else around me. Why would I put you around me if I don't even like myself? Why would you put up with me if I don't like myself, right? So I had to look in this metaphorical mirror. And see, mirrors provide a space for us to acknowledge the flaws in our life. And once we acknowledge the flaws, then at that point, it's on us if we're mature enough to make the necessary adjustments. I told you earlier that my problem in the past was that I didn't look in the mirror, so I didn't know what needed to be adjusted. So when I finally looked in the mirror and saw what needed to be adjusted, I was like, dang, all that? I would have left me too. But after that come to Jesus moment, Mr. Himes, then all of a sudden now I'm like, okay, this needs to be fixed. Derek, I've told you this in person, so you know I'm not lying. This needs to be fixed. My friend Derek, when I first got separated, now me and Derek went through a period, we didn't talk for years, right? We fell out. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We did, but we cool now because he's here. But at that moment, when I told him what I was doing in my marriage, you know what he said? Nigga, go get your wife. Do what you need to do to fix your marriage. Wasn't no talking, no other stuff. I said, no, bro, it's too late. And when I told him that, he finally accepted it. But when I first told him, and that's what a good friend does. Right? He don't just pat you on your back, say, let's go buy a beer or go drink or smoke and let's do this. No, he said, no, go fix your marriage. And that's what you need, people like that in your life. But what I did, and Derek understands it now, and so many people have come to understand it more, is that once I realized it was gone, once I had that come to Jesus moment, this is where we're going to segue to, at that point, I started working on becoming the best version of James. It was time to become a better me, right? If I didn't become a better me, it didn't matter, right? I tell pastors all the time, because they don't want to hear it, Eric, but I tell them all the time, you want a whole bunch of good members, but you ain't got no good me's. They'll come to church and they'll be real good at church, but they suck in real life day to day, right? But you got to teach them how to be good me's. And if they're good me's, then they're good on their job, they're good in the marketplace, and then they'll come to church and add value to your church. Right now, they're leeching on you right now because they're not really good me's. So I said, you know what, let me get in this mirror and say, okay, well, I got a little matter right there. Let me get that out your eye right there. Okay, need a haircut. Let's make sure you don't push the line back. Let's do this. And then I started to become a much better version of myself. And then I started I started to attract what I deserve. And then I started to detract what I didn't deserve. Because certain things, I'd be like, you ain't even on my level, sweetheart. I apologize. You think you fine, but that ain't doing nothing for me, girl. Because a lot of these young girls, boy, I'm talking to the men right now. They lead with it, man. Shanetta, they lead with it. I'm talking about in the, oh man, where's my drink? God dog, let Tony give me a refill. Yeah, juice, yeah, orange juice. But I'm allergic to orange juice, I'm lying. But real talk though, they lead with that because they think that's it. I had a girl tell me one time, come here, sweetheart. I don't care nothing about that. I'm 51 years old. You think you can get me with that? I need somebody to grow old with. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody I can lay my head on your lap when I feel like I'm having a bad day. And then somebody that's comfortable enough to just sit still and don't have to, well, what you thinking? Why you so quiet? Hell, I'm thinking. That's why I'm so quiet. That's what, god dang, nigga, shit. Leave me alone, for real. You had a long day. I'm dead, yeah. I'm that long. And then, you know what? And I might sit there for 30 minutes and not say a word. And then all of a sudden open up like the Red Sea. Tony back there raised his hand like I guess. But y'all, we have to give each other, as my friend Danny said, the space. Because once we create this space, right, then we got to figure out how to share this space. So, Coy, how do you share this? Because as you become the best version, Coy is on point. Coy does her thing. Coy is a nurse practitioner. Coy lives a comfortable life. You know what I'm saying? Things are well. So how do you allow somebody to come in and share space with what you have going on already?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You acting like Erica now. I'm just joking. Erica's not here tonight, though. Erica didn't come. Erica stayed in Florida.
Erica is here tonight.
I'm bad. Okay. But real talk, though.
How do I allow that?
Yeah, what does it look like? Because you have a very busy life. Mm-hmm. You're a businesswoman. You're a mother. I ain't going to say single mother. I'm just going to say mother. You're a mother. You have several businesses and all those things going on, right? And I appreciate her because she took time out of there to come from Orlando, Florida, to come support me tonight. Y'all give her a hand. All right. But I'm giving you more time to think. But real talk. How I mean, because I know you desire a relationship at some point.
Yes, but I'm guilty of allowing anyone in my space. My family, they pick and choose. They're very protective because I'm just so relaxed. Mm-hmm. Because I don't judge people. I just allow people to be who they are and just allow anybody in my space. But as far as relationship, that's a hard one. I like being friends with everybody.
You like being friends, so you can't be with one man. You're gonna cheat and be with a whole bunch of different.
No, it's not cheating.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm just joking, man. I'm just, hey, you know. She said I like. Your daughter just said I love to be with everybody. I just heard it out of my own mouth. So. Dating. Oh, well, dating. My bad. Y'all know I'm slow. Okay. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Go ahead.
I'm selfish with my other space, so I don't take that time to even really date.
Gotcha. Rickie, question. Move on, because Coy don't want to answer my question.
I'm sorry, Jay.
No, you good. Listen, actually, we're improvising right now because some people who were supposed to be on stage aren't here, so they had to call them up at the last minute. So it's okay. Rickie, the only one supposed to be on stage right now, but we all good. But Rickie, how do you do you present yourself if you can't present your best?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them who I am.
Okay.
You get me.
You got a microphone.
You get the authentic me. Like, I'm not gonna give you something if I don't know that I really want to talk to you. If I'm still trying to figure that out, I mean, you still get me, but I don't let you in on everything. But if I see you and I see that you could be somebody special for me, or I feel that way, I'm gonna be totally honest. You get me at my best and my worst. I don't have any secrets to hide from you. I'm gonna let you know, so you can't say, hey, well, you didn't tell me this. Hey, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know this about you. Yeah, you're gonna know everything. So when it comes to you, if somebody brings something, because we're in Arkansas, it's small. Somebody brings something to you, you can't say, I didn't tell you that. You can't say, I didn't advise you of that. You know this, so now you can say, well, baby girl, he already told me this. Yeah. Oh, he used to talk to you? Yeah, he told me that. That's okay. We seen you. He told. So now you don't have any of these secrets. You don't have any, and that makes you, as he said, that's one thing that I wanted to address on. Like, they were friends. Yeah. They had a bond. They had nothing to hide. That makes it comfortable. She said, I can trust him. I know that he loves me. I know that he's gonna protect me. So if you know that I'm gonna protect you. You know that I'm not gonna put anything before you. Whatever flaws and faults I may have, you may be able to overlook that because you know you get the real me. So if you get the real me, that's what I give you. That's it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's the thing, because Dani, you said sometimes they send a representative, and I get it. But let me ask you a question, because we live in not you. I'm really asking them, but if you want to come up here and answer, I'm cool with it. But this Roz, you can help me too. No, you can't, because you wouldn't know nothing about what we're talking about. Y'all were married. Y'all were married before the internet. Trust me. Wasn't no cell phones. Wasn't no dating apps. None of that kind of stuff. We got some real live issues right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got some real live issues. So when we talk about sending the representative, who is going to send anything that's not their best, right? And so a lot of times now we get to know people before we actually get to know people, right? Coy and I have known each other for 2 years, but this is the first time we've met each other in person. Okay? I have people who bought the food tonight that I never met until tonight. Okay? So social media allows you to put these relationships together before you really have relationships. And my question for you, Dani, not really, it's rhetorical, and hopefully she'll answer it. How do you not present the representative? Because you're probably going to present your best every time, right? And because nobody exposes their weaknesses. I'm not walking in the room saying, y'all know what, I got this big sore, I was cut a long time ago. That sore is covered until we get to know each other.
When I said send the representative, that means in my experience, you've studied me, you know what I like, you know what I love, and when you approach me, you present to me those things. And then as time goes on, then I'm finding out, okay, well, you really don't even like that. So why did you present it to me as if you did? You see what I'm saying? So you interrupting what I got going on when you knew that from the beginning, you wasn't interested in those things, but you studied me enough to present to me the things that I really love. I was watching a show just today, and this guy had been married to his wife for years, and he's just now telling his wife that when he proposed to her, he really didn't want to get married to her. He was joking, but because she said yes, he went along with it. He turned out to be a homosexual. 20 years later. But his representative he was there for her. They had 2 children, 2 boys, and he was there. Everything she needed, he was there. But he didn't want that. No, he wasn't literal. But he didn't want those things. And so what do we have now? He's wasted 20 years of her life when all he had to do was from the beginning say, you know what, I asked you to marry me, but I'm not ready for that. Or, you see what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna be honest with you, what you just did, clearing that up, is what a lot of people need to do, is get clarity on what, because see, sometimes we operate in our assumptions, and most of our assumptions come from projecting. You know what I'm saying? Some people are put up with in a relationship what other folk won't put up with. And that's Roz, a lot of people would have left. But you knew that was your assignment. My wife knew I cheated the first time. She didn't leave. She said, I don't know. Her mama told me point blank, she don't know nothing about divorce. But I didn't do what Alfred did. I didn't give her the space to grieve and then make her feel comfortable in that grief. You feel what I'm saying? That's different. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a question, then we're gonna get back on this panel.
You made a statement that you're not going to allow them to know who you are. You're going to keep that wound covered. And I think that what part of the problem is. I think that when we go in and if you see a person of interest, then I need to tell you everything about it so you know what you get.
Right.
That way, later down the line, you won't say, I didn't know this about you.
That's the representative.
When you tell a person what you're about, then that gives them an opportunity to say, do I want this or not?
Yes.
And so I think a lot of times, them wounds that we keep healed because we don't want people to know. And so it comes out, they're going to find out anyway later on down the road, so you might well be truthful about the situation and allow that person to make a decision.
Let me up around and find out.
Yeah, because, you know,
That's the small one. You don't say the big one.
And so, and that's part of the problem, covering up wounds.
He won't talk. Let me get Jesse the mic. Jesse, say something.
Hold on, I'm gonna get this real quick. I'm running the sound, so I got the mic. Look, I don't want to get in front of the camera. So what he said was, you know, people covering up different things. Here's the reality of that. Like, oftentimes we don't want to show people because, okay, so Superman back in the day, you know, Superman when he had the castle, Superman used to fly out to the castle. He had kryptonite though. He would keep at the castle. That's the very thing that would hurt him. That's the very thing that would destroy him. He only showed 2 people that castle. That was Lois Lane and Lex Luthor. When I show you what'll hurt me and I show you these wounds, who you gonna be? Are you gonna be Lex Luthor and try to destroy me with what I showed you? Or are you gonna be Lois Lane and try to protect me? So you can't always say people, well, they just covering it up. No, I need to know who you're gonna be before I show it to you.
Being protected.
No, Jesse first. Jesse, then you.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of coming from a weird place.
Oh, I know that.
I'm 50 years old. I was raised by my mom and my sister. My dad was abusive, and there was a lot of things going on. So, being raised by my mom and my sister, I learned to value women a lot. I learned to see women, you know, the way they see themselves. Because I didn't get a filter where it was somebody saying, oh, this is what women are. You know, I didn't have that in my life. But so here I am at 50. I've tried to make myself into this vision of what a woman would want. I've never cheated. I've never stepped out on a relationship, but I've always been exclusively cheated on. And so it feels like my energy kind of draws a certain kind of woman to me. And I don't know. Like I said, it feels kind of weird. I hear a lot of people saying about how they've done, you know, come back from things. And I haven't. And like now, I'm in a place where now it's been like 13 years because my kid's mom died. And so just when I thought I was ready to get back, then my health started going, I had surgeries. What does a person do if they're in that situation, you know? Because it really feel kind of vulnerable to even get involved with a chick because I'm still thinking, you know, this is how women are. And it's kind of wild, and I kind of fought my mom. I told her, I was like, you left me with a disability. Because I'm thinking, you know, women are this way and they're to be treasured and this and that, but it doesn't always work out that way.
This is what I've learned, if I may. This is what I've learned from my last relationship. You have to be strategic when you ask God for things. My post, the latter part of my post said, He will cover and not expose. He will bring calm and not chaos. And I have to honestly say that this time, the things that I strategically asked God for, because before I asked God, I want a husband, you know, this, that, and the other, but looking down the line, and do you really want to be with this person for the rest of your life? You have to be specific, because God will give you what you ask for. And then you go back and say, well, God, maybe I should have said this, or maybe I should have said that. But this time, I was specific. And everything that I asked God for, the checks is being checked off. So I think if I can encourage you, if you're going to God for a companion, be strategic, because He is faithful. And His promises are yes and amen. Yeah.
All right, we're going to let Pastor Eric say something first, and then we're going to get back on the stage and ask about one or two more questions. Then I think we've had a good conversation tonight. So I think we're going to segue on out of this thing. But Eric, go ahead.
I think that it's very strategic that when you are asking God for a particular mate, that you be willing to be transparent and forthcoming with that particular person. When you ask God for someone, God's going to send you not anybody, He'll send you a helpmate. They can't help you if you keep them in the dark of what you're hurting from. You can't go to the hospital with a heart condition and get there and say, I'm okay, and then expect them to give you the healing that you need. And so how they use it, that's on them. However, if it's really what you prayed for and that person is a God person, then the person who mishandles the information you give them about your pain ain't the person for you in the first place. And so I think that it's important that we always be honest with my flaws, faults, and failures, so that you will know that I'm broken. God, you know, God has blessed the Warrens that they stayed together, but what if they had separated? And this, I'm just hypothetically speaking now, and I got with her. I need to know what He did to her. And what if somebody got him? What if somebody got him? So if they don't know his drama and his trauma, then they can either add to it or they wouldn't know how to deal with him. They got a man who has been hurt or a woman that's been hurt, and down the line, they have accepted that other person just to fill that void of that pain. And when they come out of that area of pain, now they become the pain to somebody else because I didn't know what you were hurting from.
And that's the key, what Dani said. Dani said when she made that post, she had already done the work. And see, the thing is we want a one panacea to fit every problem. And that's not the case. There's not a one side. Come on up close if you want to talk to me. There's not, no, I want you to come. Yeah. There's not one panacea for every problem. Dani's problem was specifically designed for her, so she had to do her work, right? Counselors and strategists and and therapists, they have a way, they don't give you answers, they help you come up with solutions. There's a difference in giving you an answer and helping you come up with a solution, right? I can give you a 1,000-piece puzzle right now, and you will never fix the puzzle if you just take one piece out at a time. But you got to throw all the pieces on the table and try to make everything connect to make these things put together, right? But we want to take, she want to take her problem and make it apply to my life, and it don't fit, it's going to leave me frustrated. And that's what happens now that keeps relationships from being fruitful, is that they're preceded with frustration, and when we get frustrated, what do? We quit. Come on, talk.
So I think the biggest issue with dating and relationships, period, is just pride. Everything stems from a place of pride. We are too prideful to say that we're hurt. We're too prideful to say what we've been through. We're too prideful to say who we are. You know, sometimes you got to look at yourself. You know who you are better than anybody else. Would you date you? If you wouldn't date you, why are you going to pull somebody else into your mess? If you're not ready to settle down, why are you pulling somebody into a place that you know you're going to cheat on them? So I think it's pride. And we know what happens to pride. It cannot stand. God stands against the proud. So I think if we would, when people are dating, if they would just, like you said, throw it on the table, not be prideful. I think one of the best things you could do for somebody is to be truthful. One of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody is to withhold truth and then expect them to make a good decision. Who starts a job and don't have no kind of training, don't have no kind of instruction, don't have nothing? You just sitting at a desk and you don't even know what to do. When you're dating, it's like starting a new job. If you don't give me the instruction, if you don't tell me who you are and what I'm supposed to do and what you expect, then what do I do? So I think one of the biggest things that we have to step aside from is we have to lay aside our pride. What if God was prideful with us? What if he took the stance of being prideful and saying, well, I'm not going to share this information, but I think he created us to be relationship oriented, and I think that that's what keeps us from having great relationships, is that we get in relationships because I want them to make me happy. Get in relationship and what can I do for you to help you reach the potential that God has put in you?
I'm gonna say, can I say one thing? 20 seconds.
Say it 1 second, 20 seconds.
That man said something that most men don't admit. And I wanna touch on, real quick. Most men don't tell women how we've been played by women. So women don't understand why we feel the way we feel. And so for him to say that takes a lot of courage and guts, and I commend you for that, because most men don't tell you, I've been cheated on, I've tried to be this person. Well, what you saw, I saw my dad take care of my mom and everything, and I tried these things as a young man to be this person for women, and it didn't work. They didn't want that nice guy. They wanted that player. So when you see that, you turn into that because that's what you see. So I'm just saying, as a young, and social media makes it worse. So when you see these things, he spoke on something that most men won't tell you. Most men won't speak on it. So I commend you for that. So women, sometimes you have to understand that we have been hurt at a young age that we didn't know. That we didn't know that these things affected us, and we get grown and we don't know how to handle that because we're still trying to process these things that we're going through. So I commend you for that.
Hey, listen, Roz, I need y'all to hang out few more minutes, and we're going to go. Here's this question, and this is the last question of the night, because this has really been better than expected, to be honest with y'all. And somebody was over here a minute ago telling me I need to do a part 2. So my 3-year anniversary is in May, so don't be surprised if I come back in May with the same conversation, okay? All right, so here's the question. When do you expose the womb? Expose the secrets? When do you expose the things that you've kept hidden? No, this is a rhetorical question. I want you to think for a second first, then we'll answer it, okay? When do you expose? Because, see, when I expose that to you, now I'm exposed. Hold on. I know it sounds like I get it. But hold on. Because sometimes I ask a question, you'll jump right on that thing, right? And it sounds like a perfect answer. But, and I get it. That's a good answer, when you're safe. I get it. But is it that black and white? Is it that black and white?
Nope.
Honestly, no.
Okay, put the mic up to your mouth.
It's completely different with each person. Completely different with each person. I've been on the dating scene now since 2016, and I've talked to a lot of different men because I keep things very, very surface level. And a lot of it, it's right there. They'll tell you exactly what they're expecting first couple of days. So.
It depends on the age. My thing is this. It depends on what age you are.
That's a lie.
Yes, it does. See, let me tell you something. I'm 53 years old.
That's true.
People ask me this question: would you let a daughter? Would you? I got 5 beautiful daughters. They all spoiled. They still in my food right now. Now, people ask me, would you let somebody? Would you want your daughter to date you? Yes. The 50-year-old me, not that 40-year-old me. Dang sure not that 30-year-old brother of me. So it depends on your age and your maturity level. When do I feel safe to tell you? You ladies ask a question, representative. You say, well, I'm asking God for this. But what if God sent you that man? You still looking for a representative. Could it be if I approach you at the age of 50 that I'm healed? That I know what I want? Come on now, sisters.
At 50.
Let me say one thing, because I do hold on, I get to speak first. I get to speak first. I get to speak first. I'm joking.
You've been speaking.
But real talk, it's a difference in recognizing. Let me just say this. But let me say this, because I like to drop caveats right in the middle of the room, right? It's a difference in looking for the representative and recognizing the representative.
Yes.
Because a lot of people go into it looking for the representative. This is like people go in looking for a red flag. If I go in looking for something, I'm going to find it. Yep. But if I recognize the representative, and here's the thing, once I recognize the representative, then what do I do with it?
Right.
Because once I've seen him, and I know that it's him, then I got to call it out, first of all. And if I call it out and they don't respond, then I got to be cool enough.
Bag up. There you go.
But some of us, because we feel so good and it feels so good, we try to fix and make a square peg fit in a brown hole and it don't fit. Right? Hold on. I want to get you on. Okay. Dang, I've been trying to get him on the panel forever. He finally ain't got to work.
For me, it was like this. When I was able to tell people about my pain and everything, this is what God showed me, that I had to stop looking for my value in people, and I had to love myself. So once I started loving myself, it don't matter what you think or how you feel about me, because the thing is, I love myself, and when I leave, I'm gonna continue to love me whether you be with me or not. It ain't gonna make no difference because I love me. Now, because I love me, I can tell you everything about me because it's not gonna change me.
Well, I think in a relationship, when you reach, it takes time, but when you reach that level, that person's going to know everything about you, whether you tell them or not. It's transparent.
But you're going to put the mic in your mouth at some point tonight.
So so in your time, let's say you've been dating a person 6 months, and then he tells you something. Now you love him. You fell head over heels in love with him, and he drop a bomb on you in 6 months because he's comfortable. And it's something you can't handle. That's going to mess you up. I mean, I didn't know this. I don't want to date that. So that comfortable state, when you talk about that, you got to be mindful of the other person too. Can they handle this? Because if you say, well, when I'm comfortable, what about the other person? This ain't just about you. It's about me. So if I drop a bomb on you 6 months down the line that you needed to know today, that would have changed everything, now just to mess you up. Now whatever we thought we had, that ain't even it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to kind of like, if you got any intent on being serious with that person, in my mind, you let them know. If you see something in them, you let them know now, because now you can uncover everything. Hey, I don't want to do this. Before it get too serious, baby, I can't do this. I can't do that. When we say comfortable, that's kind of like you playing a game. So I think you tell it when you think you can be serious with it. If I see something in you and I feel like I want to take it, that I may not be comfortable. I've exposed some stuff to me that I wasn't comfortable with, but because I saw something in you, I didn't know how you might look at me. But because I see that I may want to take this a step further, let me tell you, baby, because I don't need nobody else telling you this. I wasn't comfortable. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't know how you was going to take it. I was scared. I told you.
Driving with it. The word comfortable is kind of being taken in another way. What I mean by, if I decide that I'm going to be with you, you're going to be mine and I'm going to be yours, okay? If we're in that space, we've been together and talked about some things over time. It may 6 months, however long it may take. If we're in that space and we've developed feelings for one another, whatever you got going on, if it's meant for us, we're going to overcome it, period. If not, 6 months is all we got.
Yeah, so, but
everybody has their rules. I get it. Yep. Keisha, I want you to talk about I want you to talk about this is Lakeisha, y'all. Keisha was in charge of making. But I want you to talk about creating a safe space, and then when you create that safe space, avoiding things that would challenge that. You feel what I'm saying? For instance, when do you share those truths, right? Because if I decide, if we're talking, right, and we're going through the steps, let's say 1 being the beginning, 10 being the end, right, and we get around 3 and 4, and now 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 5, and now it's time to start sharing some truths to make sure you want to go farther. You feel what I'm saying? So talk about that for me.
Oh goodness, hey guys, how are you all doing tonight? You gave me the eye and I'm like, oh shit. So I believe that one of the things that's in my experiences in life that I noticed that when I am sharing any type of ship with someone, when it's time to start exposing yourself, being a little more open and sharing those things, I definitely test the water out. I'll give them like something just random, like fun fact that might make you feel uncomfortable and see how you handle that, and then I'll go a little bit further in and see from there. I am someone who just accepts people where they are. You know, it's like this is what you have going on. This is who you are. There's some boundaries that we're going to have to respect if we're going to deal with each other, but you know, otherwise not. You are given the same grace that God gives you when you deal with me. God doesn't force you to do anything. Why am I going to force you to do something? I'm going to observe and see what you're doing, and if it aggravates my spirit, I'm going to say something. And if it doesn't get addressed, then this is a decision that needs to be made.
That's the point.
I like that.
Decision needs. I see you, Derek. The decision once. Listen. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it flow, man. That's okay, because we have enough messed up relationships. You know, we have enough people, because familiarity breeds contempt. If you're around somebody for a long time that you don't like, you're going to start treating them like you don't like them. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather get with the person they irritate you, huh? Even the talk, you know, they start to irritate you because that's not your person.
Right.
When it works, it works. Do y'all see the glow between between Alfred and Roz? Yes. Do y'all see when you see Alfred and Roz, don't just listen to the words, but look at the body language. Yeah. Look at the smile. You know what I'm saying? And look at the transparency. All those things count for something. And that's built through a bond.
Right.
That's built through a bond, and when you have a bond, guess what? What's the past tense word of bond? Bound. And when we're bound, that means I got your back. Put that arm in there right quick. Let's show me something. When we bound, boy, it's like watch it. I pull her, she go. Yeah. She pull me, we go. You know what I'm saying? But we touch it. So that means if I feel something, she feel it too. If she feels something, I feel it too, because we're bound, right? And that's the problem we have in relationships, because a lot of us, I'm going to say it, but we go in expecting to fail. You're right. That's why we sign prenups. That's why we already know we figured we're going to get a divorce. Back in the day, it didn't work like that. We didn't act like that. But now we go in with the insurance in place that if it fails, I got a plan. Right. What if you said my only plan is to succeed? Because it sounded like what Roz said a minute ago. She said, when I went in, I knew this was my person. So whatever happens that messes up my person. Coy has a very, very interesting perspective on cheating. Because she says that cheating is a term, what'd you say? A term that created?
Yeah.
Put the mic up to you. Yeah.
It's a term that's created. That's my thinking. I don't expect anybody else to think like this. But science plays a role with people as well. So men by nature, they're hunters. We're monogamous. Women are, you know. So I think a lot of people throw away a whole foundation because a man has stepped out and acted on his nature. And when we throw away that foundation that we built 10, 15, 20 years, we're going somewhere and we're starting all over. Somebody else may do the same thing. The next man may act on that nature. So why throw away the whole foundation that you build because he acted on that? Sex does not equate to love. Exactly. Love is totally different.
I know y'all don't want to hear that. We ain't gonna start a whole other conversation on that one. That'll be May's conversation. Yeah. Y'all coming back in May? Y'all coming back in May? Roz and Alfred, y'all coming back in May? All right, cool. We're going to do this again in May, okay? May is my 3-year anniversary. It's going to be different next time. All right? It's going to be a little different. I might charge. I might charge.
No, say it loud.
I might.
I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud.
I might charge next time, okay? Huh?
What did you say?
A man will cheat with anything. That's
No. Al was, Al, no, you got to know Al Crater. Al Crater was not looking for an answer right there.
And we asked the question.
Al Crater was looking for a thought. Okay, he wasn't looking for. Ricky, you young. Yeah. You're a little younger than me.
I might be young.
No. Hold on. I wasn't insulting you.
Okay. No, I know.
I wasn't insulting you, but I'm telling you something. Al Crater's an old man like me, okay? But what he just don't, that was not a question. Hold on. That wasn't a question that was meant to be answered.
Oh, well,
yeah. You got rhetorical questions. Certain questions are made to make you think. Don't answer every question, okay? I'm gonna let you ride right there. Back then we used to say that's when young men throw yourself, you run out there in front of that train to get hit. Stay out the way. Stay off the track. Yeah. But they gotta cheat with somebody. All right. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm going to wind this down.
It does go both ways. Cheating does not. It's just not all about sex, like she was saying. She was cheating him out of a wife. She was. Of what she was doing. So you can cheat in many ways besides sexually.
I do think that men are.
A little while long. Everything.
But you can line a fat woman up on the road and say, I'm giving away. And you can line it.
All right, y'all. Hey, listen. Hey, you know what I like about this conversation? Number one, everybody, first of all, give yourselves a hand because everybody has been very transparent. And this has been alert. They still up here talking about it. You know, they ain't studying nothing I'm saying right now. And I'm okay with that. You know, I'm in some. God, thankfully, anatomically made me with size 12 feet, so I'm cool standing on my own 2 shoes. I'm cool with that because they ain't paying me no attention. They still talking about the discussion. It's all good. But no, have y'all enjoyed yourselves tonight?
Yes, sir.
Come on, give yourselves a hand. Hey man, you can cut that off. You can cut that off, Kiki. Yeah, this has been real. This is better than expected. It really has been, and I appreciate every one of y'all, the panelists that improvised, Dani, Dani and I have been talking about this for about the last month and a half, and it's worked out. Roz, Avery gone, ain't he? I didn't even notice that, but Avery, it's just been real, man. And I appreciate, Eric, you popped in on me tonight, man. I appreciate you, y'all. Eric is doing his thing. Eric and I did a show together about a year and a half ago called Rebounding from Rock Bottom, and Eric told his truth on that day, right? So if y'all don't watch the Intellectual Stew, do. Because that's what we do. We don't just talk about relationships. It's called a stew for a reason. Stew consists of beef, chicken, potatoes, stock. I mean, y'all give me some carrots, whatever, But it's it ain't just one thing, and that would be a very boring stew. It's a what? It's a combination / compilation of a bunch of things, right? And we talk about all of them, and we share them, and we talk about them, and then we share ideas. I don't ever give answers. I don't want to give answers, but I want to share ideas because I think if we share ideas, now you have something to pick from, and all of those are right answers. What if we had multiple choice tests in school that all of them were the right answers?
Well, you have a class full of
Yeah, but school teaches us to fail, right? They say that somebody has to fail. No, but what if we all succeeded, right? Because we picked the answer that's applicable to me. And that's where we are, right? And I'm giving us opportunities to pick something that's applicable to us, right? And we can listen to our stories and we can share our experiences and eventually walk away with a common theme and say, you know what? Alfred messed up. Roz forgave him. And then she said, it might have been my fault because I messed up. That's powerful. That's self-accountability, right? And people will be drawn to that. I'm going to tell you right now, and I prophesied that their church is going to grow because some people have heard about what is going on, and they're going to go over there, and young women are going to want to learn from her, and young men are going to want to learn from him because they're transparent. They don't mind getting on the road to Emmaus and showing their wounds. So many of us want to cover them up. But wounds have a reason. They have a purpose. We use them. But you know the great part about it? Eventually, the natural progression of a sore is to become a scar. Because when a sore becomes a scar, it's evidence that I was hurt, but I no longer feel pain. The problem is so many of us still feel pain and we act out because we are in pain. And we're looking for something to alleviate the pain. We're asking Coy and people like her, can you give me a pain sedative? But when the pain sedative wears off, the pain is still there. Until you do the work, as Dani said. And once you do the work, it's Dani's right to say, I am not settling for the representative. And it's okay for her to say that and for Otis not to be offended by it. Because guess what? I might not be Dani's person. And that's okay. But Dani's person is going to be cool because guess what? He's going to come with all his hands out with the wounds open saying, this is all I am. And if you help me, we can heal these wounds. You can put some salt in them. We're going to put some antiseptic on them. And we're going to grow together, right? And guess what? You're going to know about my pain. And every time my pain hurt, my stepmama told my daddy point blank when he went through when he had his episode and he got a staph infection, she said, I can't pack your wound. It's too much pain for me. I can't see myself putting 3 or 4 or 5 inches of gauze in that wound. But there was a nurse who could. And it didn't mean she loved my daddy. It meant she couldn't handle packing the wound. Sometimes you can't pack them. But the one that can, that's the one you worry about. We spend too much time worrying about people who don't mean nothing to us. I could care less about somebody who don't mean anything to me. I've had a good time tonight. Y'all had a good time tonight? Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up right now. Y'all can go back and have a couple more drinks, eat the rest of the food, whatever, take a plate home. But as I say after every show, how do I say it, Coy? I say the world is changing. But my question is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night. We'll catch y'all next time.